Hey guys, happy Friday. So it's Feature Friday time, so I'm going to feature three different plants that I really love. And so the first one that I'm going to do is called the Petite Gris de rennes, and it is a French heirloom melon that is, I think it's probably like a cantaloupe. It is really delicious. I grew it last year. It takes 85 days. Well, supposedly it takes 85 days to reach full maturity, but a lot of reviews that I have read says that it reaches maturity early. So that's always good news. Now I did grow this thing last year, and I don't remember if mine reached maturity early or not, but I do remember the flavor, the smell, and it was just so good. So it's a green melon, and I think that is what petite gris, petite gris de rennes. I think that's part of what that means. It means the green melon. And so it is a 2 pound melon. Probably gets about that big, about the size of a cantaloupe. The one I had last year probably got a little bigger than what I call a typical cantaloupe. But it's very sweet. It's has a lot of aroma. Just whenever you just get close to it in the garden, you can smell it so good, and it just makes your mouth water just to smell it. And it needs full sun, but it doesn't like the hot evening sun quite so much as it does morning sun. So it's best to plant it where it's going to get at least a minimum of 8 hours of sun, starting in the morning preferably. If you can't, it'll still do okay, but it prefers the earlier part of the day sun. Specialty growers love this melon because they can charge top dollar for it. It is a rare melon in the US, although it's becoming more and more popular as more and more people are starting to grow gardens. It's a great variety to grow while doing vertical gardening, and that's how I grew it last year. Was on a trellis. I had a raised bed and I had my trellis where I used a cattle panel for the trellis, and I had it coming up out of the raised bed going over the trellis, and it done great like that. I did have some issues with cucumber beetles, I think is what they were called. Yeah, cucumber beetles last year, because even though they're called cucumber beetles, apparently they love melons. And so I did have an issue with them last year, but I did manage to get some ripe fruit on that Petite Gris de rennes, and it was just so wonderful. So if you are looking for a great melon to grow, I'm telling you folks, this is the thing that you want to grow. You will not be sorry. It is a fabulous, fabulous melon. And here is what the Petite Gris de rennes looks like. It's already getting flowers. Several of my melons are. They are going crazy, y'all. So it's already good size. I can hardly wait to get it out into the garden. But I will insert a picture of what this thing looks like at full maturity as well. And I just wanted to read you one of the things that one of the growers online said about the flavor. He says, it is very sweet with notes of brown sugar and a hint of caramel, slightly floral with a touch of musk. Very complex. And I thought, wow, what a description. That sounds amazing. So, and it really is a good melon. You won't be sorry if you grow this melon this year. So the next thing that I wanted to feature on Friday for the peppers is called the Sugar Rush Peach Pepper. And it is a hot pepper, and it is 50 to 150 on the Scoville rating scale of heat. And that is about the same as a habanero. I've listened to a couple different people that done a taste test on it. Some people say that it's hotter than a habanero, and I had some people say that it's not as hot as a habanero. So it may depend on the soil that you put it in. It may depend on how ripe you allow it to get. but it also has some sweet undertones with some heat, like the habanero, some tropical sweetness, so to speak. And so I'm really excited about growing that one this year. I have not grown this one before. This is new in my garden, and I plan on doing some hot sauce with it, because I love the hot sauce that has the sweet undertones. That's one of my favorites. Last year I used habanero, and I made pineapple habanero hot sauce, which was fabulous. It's probably my favorite to date. So this year I'm also going to do several others and make some hot sauces with. But anyway, the Sugar Rush Peach, it gets its name because of its color. Baker Creek is where I got the seeds at for this particular pepper. Baker Creek is also rareseeds.com. So if you're looking to get seeds from Baker Creek, you can just type in rareseeds.com on the computer or on your phone, and that'll bring it up. Let me just read you what Baker Creek says about the Sugar Rush Peach. Amazing sugar sweet flavor and some fire too. A scrumptious snacking pepper, Sugar Rush Peach is by far the most fun pepper to eat. The long peach-colored fruit is packed with loads of super sweet tropical flavor, and the seeds bring a smoky, complex heat that when used together creates a wild flavor experience unparalleled in any pepper we have tried. That sounds like a lot of fun. Chris Fowler of Wales is the one that came up with this pepper, and he says it's the best accident he ever came up with, because it was a complete accident that he came up with this pepper while trying to propagate other peppers by putting different ones together and come up with a really good hybrid. The Sugar Rush Peach was an accident that he came up with, and apparently it's an awesome accident, and I'm really excited to try this. And like most peppers, it will require full sun, so a minimum of 8 hours of sun. And like the melons, it doesn't like the real hot evening sun, so morning sun is preferred. So if you can start off with the morning sun and 8 hours, and the 8 hours does not even have to be consistent. It could be in a place where it's broken up, where it gets 4 hours of sun in the morning and then 4 hours of sun, in the evening or late afternoon, as long as it gets 8 hours a day of full sun. It is supposed to be super early, high yielding, and that's something that always attracts my attention whenever it says high yielding, because that means it's going to be very prolific and you're going to get a lot of fruit on this pepper. I think one way that people get more yield from pepper plants is to prune them, and I always prune mine. Pruning peppers is a little controversial. Some people say that you get more fruit when you don't prune, but personally, whenever I have tried it, I almost always get more fruit whenever I snip off the very top of my peppers whenever they're very young. And I'll do a separate video on how to prune your peppers. And as usual, I will put in some pictures of what this beautiful pepper looks like. And then last but not least, the tomato that I'm going to feature today is called the black strawberry tomato. The black strawberry is actually a cherry tomato, so they're small because they're cherry tomatoes. They are very prolific, and the color will just blow your mind. I'll slip in a little picture right here. Black strawberry is a cross between a Bosque blue with the strawberry type. It is one of the most beautiful tomatoes you will ever see, one of the most beautiful cherry tomatoes you will ever look at. Again, like the other two things that I've spoke about tonight, this cherry tomato is very prolific, so you will get gobs and gobs of little cherry tomatoes from one plant. It is an indeterminate variety, so it will continue to grow throughout the season until frost or a disease takes it out. It's great in salads. It's great to just eat straight off the vine. I know last year a lot of the cherry tomatoes that I grew in the garden never even made it into the house. I would go out into the garden before I had eaten anything that day, and I would eat tons of tomatoes before I ever even made it out of the garden. That's probably my favorite way to eat them. It is red striped with a bluish black on the shoulders, and that's where it gets its name at, the black strawberry. And the black portion is from anthocyanins that is in the tomato, and those are antioxidants and are so good for you. I will put some pictures of the black strawberry into this video so that you can see those. And so here is what the black strawberry plant looks like. You can see it's really starting to get tall. Let me see if I can get maybe a better shot of it if I back up. Yeah, it's pretty tall. It is so beautiful, and that is what attracted me to this tomato. I have never grown this one before either. This is new to my garden, but I am really looking forward to growing this one. This tomato has actually gotten quite a bit of attention from different growers all throughout the United States. It is so hard to get the seeds right now. I'm really fortunate that I purchased mine early. I always buy my seeds in January, especially since COVID, because, you know, since COVID reared its ugly head, people are really buying up seeds, you know, so it's hard to get the seeds that you want if you do not buy early. So that's it for Feature Friday, y'all. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope I've encouraged somebody to grow something you've never grown before, or if you've never even had a garden or grown something in a container, then I hope that I have encouraged you to want to try something this year and grow it in a pot, in a garden, dig a hole in the yard. It doesn't even matter. You will love growing your own vegetables. So I hope you all have a great evening. God bless.